Lately, I have been thinking about friendship more than I ever have before. Maybe it's a season I am in, maybe it is the changes happening around me and in me, but somewhere in the middle of all of it, I started asking myself questions that I had never really sat with. What does friendship mean for me? What does it cost? What does it give? Am I showing up the way I want to for my friends? I did not have all the answers, but I had a flight to catch. This weekend, I am traveling to visit my best friend who lives in a different city. And somewhere between the laughter, the conversations, the views, and the quiet moments, I want to share with you some of the reflections I have been sitting with about friendship. Friendship is beautiful, but it is not cheap. It costs something. It costs time, effort, presence, vulnerability, and even money. Real friendship will cost you even convenience. It will cost you the text when you are tired, the check-in when life feels full, the flight, the prayer, the showing up even when it is not easy. And maybe that is why so many of us want deep friendship but struggle to actually build it, because we desire the fruit of friendship without fully accepting the responsibility of it. Proverbs 18:24 says, "A man who has friends must himself be friendly." Friendship is something you practice. It is not accidental. It is deliberate and intentional. Being a friend is being open, being consistent, being willing to initiate. It is deciding that this connection is important enough for you to actively participate in building. Sometimes the friendship you are praying for requires you to become braver first, to send the text first, to invite first, to apologize first, and to show up first. And yes, sometimes people will not meet us there, and that's okay. Sometimes the lack of response is a redirection, which is okay. So maybe the question is not just, do I have good friends? The deeper question is, am I being one? Because the kind of friendship most of us long for begins with becoming more thoughtful, becoming available, becoming honest, and becoming intentional. You do not wait for meaningful relationships to just appear. You build them by becoming the kind of friend you would feel safe having.
I'm welcome. I feel welcome.
Friendship is not just about company. It is a revelation. It reveals who you are, what you value, what you tolerate, what you are becoming. The people you call friends often reflect back the parts of you that are growing, and sometimes the part of you that still need healing. When I think of it, I think of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, 3 different men, and yet, when the fire came, they stood together. Real friendship is not built on sameness. It is built on shared conviction. They were able to cause God to move because they were aligned. Love without wisdom and discernment can quietly become self-abandonment. Romans 12:9 says, "Let love be genuine." Genuine love can be soft and still be discerning. In fact, discernment is what protects love from becoming something that slowly undoes you or erases you or makes you a version of you that God never created. Not every person who calls themselves your friend is meant to have deep access to you, because friendship is not just about connection. It's about influence. Who you're friends with shapes your confidence. They shape your peace. They shape your values. Also, not every friendship is meant to travel every season with you. And this is a painful lesson that I have had to make peace with. Acknowledging that ending of friendships does not mean that it was a failure. Sometimes it's evidence of growth. Sometimes it's protection. And sometimes it's just God redirecting you and aligning you with other people that you need for the next season. And maybe it's part of growing up. It's just understanding that genuine love is not about who you hold on to, but also about knowing when to let go, how to let go. Friendship is chosen. Your friends are among the only people you deliberately open your life to. You decide who gets access, who gets your laughter, who gets to sit with you in your vulnerability, who gets to witness your becoming. And when I look at friendships in the scripture, none of them were convenient. None of them were accidental. Every single one of them was chosen. Ruth had every reason to leave Naomi. Her season had changed. Her obligation had ended. Nobody would have blamed her for walking away. But she said otherwise. She said, "Where you go, I will go." That was a choice. Jonathan chooses David knowing it would cost him his position, his father's approval, his own future. And still, he chose loyalty to his friend. Because real friendship is not always about what benefits you. Sometimes it is about who your heart recognizes as worth standing beside. And then there's Jesus. Jesus, who could calm a storm with a word, still chose friendship. He did not just build a following, he built closeness. If you look at his story closely, you will see that he loved the people around him. He ate with the disciples. He wept with them. He corrected them. He stayed with them. He washed their feet. He forgave their failures. But here's the part that I like about Jesus and the disciples. Jesus also shows us that loving people, he loved his disciples, but he never lost himself trying to be friends with them. He withdrew to pray, he protected his peace, and he let them walk away when it was necessary. And that means something for each and every one of us. It means that we can be friends with people and still be real and still have boundaries and still communicate what is needed to be communicated. It means that staying is a choice, but also letting go is a choice and is necessary. So maybe friendship is not just a gift, it's a calling to love intentionally, to choose wisely, to show up fully, honestly, and wholeheartedly, but also to stay so rooted in God that we never lose ourselves trying to keep friendships. So be careful who you choose, and also be intentional about being a friend that is worth choosing. Now, we have talked about showing up, about reflection, about discernment, about choosing well. But I want to end it here with a friendship that holds all of it together. In John 15:15, Jesus looks at his disciples and says, "I no longer call you servants, but I call you friends." The Son of God. He looked at ordinary people, sometimes messy and sometimes failing people, and called them friends. And he still calls us friends as his children, even now. He knows all of you. He knows every part of you and still wants a friendship with you. As you build your friendships here on earth, do not abandon the truest and the safest, most royal friendship you'll ever have access to, the one you have with Jesus. This friendship does not require you to be perfect. It does not require you to be put together. It just requires you to show up, and he will meet you there, right where you are. So talk to him, listen to his voice, trust him, let him in, walk with him every single day. This weekend reminded me why I fight for friendships, why I book the flights, why I send the voice notes, why I show up. Good friendship is one of the most beautiful things God has placed in our lives. I do not take it for granted that I get to experience it. To my girls, thank you for being exactly the kind of friends Proverbs talks about. The iron sharpens iron kind. You have made me sharper, warmer, and more myself. And to you watching, go be the friend you are looking for and go spend time with Jesus, the one who is already the friend you need.